Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American qualifier, of course. Fantastic games so far today, but we come to a good game, hopefully, a fan favorite. OpTic Gaming going to be playing on main stage, and we have been pretty excited about this game, I think it's fair to say. It's an important one, of course. OpTic Gaming qualified from the last chance qualifier. They're the 16th seed coming in.
Oh, yeah.
They got a lot of momentum from that, but can they now transfer it across to this event? That's the question.
Yeah, they barely squeaked through the last chance qualifier. Eric and I were watching across the world in Europe at 4:30 in the morning. We're just at the edge of our beds.
Literally.
Let's go.
Yeah, we had to wake up at 8 a.m. for the tournament, and we were up watching because it was just so freaking epic.
They've had a long road.
So
they've had a very long road. So these guys, I mean, they came here to win, and especially coming against Triggers Pound. They've got their old teammate Assault. So there's kind of a little bit friendly rivalry going on here, but OpTic Gaming has definitely proved themselves to be here today. This is, I mean, Triggers Pound. We've got Hysteria,
that's crazy.
Cloud, and Assault. All three of these guys with the new player, Denoxide. Three of these guys have major tournament wins, so they've got some experience.
Don't take them lightly.
And on top of that, this is a huge matchup for this group. I mean, we kind of have an idea of who else is going to advance, right, for sure. But then when it comes down to who's the second team that's going to advance, it's one of these two in our eyes, right? So Triggers Pound and OpTic Gaming, they've been going back and forth like who's going to win. A lot of people have been talking about it. Hysteria even came up to me earlier today and said, "Really, dude, you pick OpTic Gaming?" I said, "Hey, man, you know." Yeah, sometimes there's certain things that change the way you look at these two teams, and really it's on any given daily basis. I mean, these guys both have immense talent, and I mean, just look at these guys right now. Cloud
the OpTic beard.
And the OpTic beard.
There's so
two
much
veterans.
to talk about this
Two veterans.
OG squad. But let's talk about Triggers Pound in a little bit more detail. As you said, the Cloud, Hysteria, Assault, Dinoxide as well. I mean, this squad, as you so rightfully said, definitely fighting for that second spot out of the group, with most likely OpTic Gaming. This game is so important. It's crazy that this is kind of like the first game that we get to see them both play, and it is arguably the most important one.
And on top of it, like Sai just brought up earlier, Cloud, Hysteria, Assault, veterans. Cloud and Hysteria on a LAN are insane at live events. I mean, they are so good. They come, and we all know that online they have their struggles. Again, as pro players, you kind of have this idea of how everyone plays online and LAN, and these dudes, they come to play when it's at a live event. So I'm excited to see them show up. Assault, he makes great plays, and Denoxide, I'm curious to see if this guy's going to step up like the rest of the newcomers have.
As you mentioned, Assault left OpTic Gaming to join Triggers Pound, so I had a little bit of a rivalry going on there.
This is a big deal.
How is he going to be feeling right now, going up against his old team?
Oh, man, I mean, you just got to stay focused. He left, so, I mean, the ball
on good terms. They're all friends.
He left on good terms, but even when you leave a team, it's going up against them, you're just thinking, man, all right, did I make the right decision here? But let's take a look at the keys to victory here for Triggers Pound. We've got rely on Cloud. Cloud is he's one of those players you can rely on him to kind of do it all.
Yep. Very versatile.
He does do a lot of slaying, and he is known to play a little bit more passive. I know he's been working on trying to get a bit more aggressive.
Yep.
But if
Any
he
given
can,
game type,
if he can be a bit more aggressive, I think he's going to be able to hold it down for his team. Second, we've got power weapons for Hysteria. Hysteria always holds it down with the sniper, the rocket launcher, and
so good with it.
Surprisingly enough, talking about rockets, we've seen a lot of bucket rockets.
A lot of rockets so far.
But I also want to point out Hysteria is good at picking up the tier 2 power weapons. I mean, the shotgun, the scatter shot, the plasma pistol. This guy is so he makes it a point, and it's amazing because a player that knows the strength of these power weapons in Halo 5, those are the guys that really succeed. They're the ones that get the quote-unquote easy kills, but those are the ones that win you games a lot of the times. And then last but not least, Assault right here on the screen, the opportunities that Assault presents. I mean, we saw him back in Halo 3 making insanely clutch kills on Construct King of the Hill. I'll never forget it. The guy impressed me from that day forward. And I've always been behind him. So with this guy coming with those opportunities that he makes for the team, Hysteria, you know what you're getting out of him. Cloud, you know what you're getting out of him. But Assault, he has this sort of support low-key gameplay that he plays, but then all of a sudden, flick a switch, turns it on, hits a no-scope, is grabbing, a cap, and you're just like, this guy is doing it all. He's getting the job done. He wants to win.
Every time.
Perfect.
He's always leading the charge, always the first guy to go in. He's not the one to be like, give me the sniper, give me the rockets. I need to have power weapons. it seems like he doesn't even really care if he gets the power weapons as long as his teammates have them.
As long
he's
as
leading
they're
the
all
charge
happy.
the entire way.
And of course, at the opposite side of the booth, though, OpTic Gaming are going to be sat down, ready and waiting to play. Flamesword, Maniac, Chaser, and a Lifestyle. I mean, I kind of felt a little sorry for Flamesword at the beginning of Halo 5. He had a lot of team woes, but finally got it together, as we mentioned. Got through last chance qualifier, the 16th seed coming into the event. And of course, Greenwall won Esports Team of the Year at the 2015 Game Awards. So,
and it's crazy. I think Side, me and you talked about this a little bit while we were watching the tournament in Europe, that Strong Side actually brought Flamesword and a few other guys onto the scene originally. When Side kind of took a leave of absence from Final Boss and everything, he went and made his own team with Status Quo, and Flamesword was one of those guys. And so he kind of brought him into this pro realm, and now here we have Flamesword.
Right now.
So emotional. We were talking about how Flamesword now is doing that. He's the guy that's bringing everyone on the team together. He's brought up some new players. Lifestyle, we know he's done great in the past, but here with Chaser, he has his own team, just like Side used to do. So I'm curious to see what he does.
And now we look at, of course, the keys to victory for OpTic Gaming. Starting at the top, it's wake up time, guys. Like, you made it here, great. But guess what? This is where it starts, man.
Oh, yeah.
You want to get through to the finals, you have to come out of your groups. Of course, the second one, Big T's been here before. Some people may not know, Big Timer, former professional Call of Duty player, is actually going to be coaching the Halo squad, which is actually super ironic because Flamesword actually used to coach Big Timer back in the day, so a bit of a reversal there.
Yeah, it's great though.
Big T's been here before, man. He knows what it's like to play. We're talking about a guy who was in the Guinness World Book of Records for most tournament wins in gaming. Like, we're talking about someone who knows this environment,
especially
like
the stage too, right?
As you said, he's watched so much Halo. He's been in the house with the guys as well. It definitely helps. And of course, the last one, guys.
T2P as a team.
Baby. T2P.
Hashtag Green Wall. The support is out there. Throw it up in the chat right now, T2P. Throw up the green wall. Let them know you're here supporting them.
Smile.
These guys are wanting to bring home a victory here and make it into the top 8 and go to Worlds.
And it's awesome because, talking with them, even watching some of their, YouTube episodes, you can see this camaraderie that's built over the weeks. It's not a joke. It's not some fake team of dudes that just, happen to get put together last minute. No, these guys actually all want to be here. They all want to be here as a team. I mean, they're so supportive of one another. And, I mean, they're hanging out last night together. And that's the type of team camaraderie you need, right? You're not just in-game hanging out, but you're out of game hanging out. And they're doing everything. It's awesome.
And one of the keys to victory that actually wasn't on there, let's talk about Lifestyle here, Gary.
Yes.
Oh, Gary is known to go off. And if Lifestyle, if he's playing on top of his game, I mean, he's really helping the team just go to that next level. I mean, we saw him just go off in the LCQ. And online, we've just seen him just pull off some ridiculous
trending
things.
in North America, I think. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, the Gary chants.
A lot of Gary chants in Twitch chat. So I'm sure they're probably going to continue as hashtag T2P most likely will as well. But in terms of predictions, let's be serious now. Obviously, OpTic coming in as the 16th seed. This isn't going to be an easy game for them. Let's not pretend like it is.
This is a hard choice.
Is this one as kind of close as we think? Does it have Game 5 written on it?
I think it has a Game 5. If there's two teams here that tonight that are going to come close to each other, it's the Renegades.
That's not going to change. That's not going to change.
Look at that percentage right there on who's going to win.
It's not going to change.
100%.
Oh, the green wall.
0%.
Come on, Triggers Pound fans. You guys are out there, right?
That green wall is powerful.
There has to be at least one.
That is a powerful green wall.
Triggers Pound fan, get on your phone and tweet something, man.
Welcome to Halo Green Wall right there. That you can expect to see that more. But again,
it's gonna go to 101 next or something.
Do you think it is going to be a Game 5? Because I think it is going to be close.
I think between Renegades and Liquid, right, tonight, that's going to go to Game 5.
Best game of the night,
and same with this series right here. I think that these are the two matchups that we're looking forward to the most. They both kind of have a similar play style, right, where they have a newcomer on the team, but they have some veterans, and they both know who can stand up and who can really present themselves well at a tournament. I mean, you're looking at Flamesword and Maniac. Maniac's a 2009 national champ. Right. Flamesword is also a champion. I mean, the guy has won numerous events, and like we talked about with his own teams at that. And at the same time, you got to look at Hysteria. The guy's a winner. Assault was with Flamesword when winning. And yeah, you can't say enough about both rosters. So when it comes down to predictions, it's a tough one.
Who are you going with?
I said on my predictions that I put up there, I have OpTic Gaming coming out, so I don't think it would be fair.
That's a good point. This is the game they need to
go back on my word here. I think that OpTic Gaming will come out with the 3-2 victory.
Okay, strong side.
I originally predicted Trigger's Pound.
Oh, here we go.
To take.
Here we go. He saw the fan vote, and now he's changing.
Yeah.
He's hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, let's get it, Side. Give me that.
Are you really?
Flamesword.
Are you really? Is this
him
is this
and
gonna
I?
happen?
Him and I have
The
some
father
history.
complex.
And just seeing these guys work so hard in the LCQ,
Oh, they
and
worked
now
their
just
asses
being
off,
here,
man.
involved in all of this, I'm gonna have to agree to Game
It's a
5.
Cinderella story, man.
I was gonna
Okay.
say Trigger's
Last chance
Pound
qualifier
originally.
to world champ. All right.
3-2,
Okay.
but I think now I'm going T2P here. We're going
T2P.
green wall.
All right. Well,
3-2.
Flip side.
yeah. That's. Oh, dude, that's
This
our
is such a
analysis.
tough matchup.
It
here.
is.
I mean,
It is.
We've got so much veteran skill here, and when we talk about Flamesword, Flamesword's always willing to learn.
Right.
Always wants to learn new
He's taking
things.
it, yeah,
And
to a
when
whole new
I
level now.
teamed with him back in the day, he listened to everything I said. And sometimes he would come back and be like, that might not sound right. He'd give his honest input. But he would just go back and forth with me all the time. And we learned so much just from each other. And then we also had Ace and Tots on the
yeah.
squad. And we would try
Crazy,
to
man.
share our knowledge all
What a squad.
together. But, I mean, Flamesword and Ace, they've both come a very long way.
Definitely.
So let's
Game one actually about to get underway. So without further ado, set it up to our casters.
All right, thank you, fellas. It is time. OpTic Gaming Triggers Pound.
We've been, this is one of the top matches to look out for today. It's always little storylines. It's always little situations where Assault left this team and now this new squad. And it's always, you never get sick of that. You never get sick of hearing, all right, who's going to get revenge? And this is the first time we can see these two squads square up and go toe-to-toe.
I have to say, I am so pumped to watch Hysteria and Cloud again. It's been forever for me to watch these guys. First time for me watching them in Halo 5, and I did watch a scrim. EG played these guys, and it wasn't Cloud, it wasn't Hysteria, it wasn't Assault. Denoxide was the man dropping the biggest numbers, so I'm excited to see the youngster. On the other side, who are you pumped to watch from OpTic Gaming?
Flamesword has impressed me immensely when playing with this new squad. I think a lot of times these older players, these so-called veterans, like they get this reputation where it's like, oh well, they're smart decision makers, but they're not going to be dropping the big numbers. That's for the new guys. However, when I was watching Flamesword in the LCQ, it wasn't just his new guns, it wasn't just Zen Chaser and Lifestyle dropping big numbers. Flamesword himself was dropping bombs, dropping 20+ kills in multiple games.
He had 29,000 people watching him as well throughout that last chance qualifier. So OpTic Gaming, they put on a show for us in that tournament. Will they be able to get a big win against Triggers Down? You can see our maps. We're going to see Truth capture the flag. Then we'll head back to Regret and Plaza before going to Coliseum and potentially the Rig. Dave, do we get to a Game 5?
These squads are going to be as even as you can get. I mean, we've seen some sweeps so far, and I don't think this is going to be a sweep either way. There are just too many good players on both these squads that we're going to see at least a Game 4.
There's a look at Scotty. This man embarrassed me back when you had the Octagon. What was it called?
Oh, Octagon, man. Dude, I used to always say with Cloud, like, it's almost like a weather report when you talk about the other teams, like, playing against Cloud, and it's not looking good, man. The weather good. Not looking sunshine for the other team.
Yeah, after the series, guys, make sure you go watch me get 89 kills scored against me. I think I killed him 4 times. It's on YouTube. All right, but here we go. We're heading to Truth. It's capture the flag time, and we just saw this play between Envy and EG. It's all about the teamwork and knowing when to pull that flag. Dave, when you're looking at all these players, who's going to be the most important for fortifying the position for their squad?
Assault, without a doubt, for this Trigger Pound squad. He is the opportunity creator for this team. He's always going to be the one that's up in their face, laying down shots on the front line and buying opportunities for like his squad members like, Cloud and Hysteria to sit back and get these slays.
Speaking of Cloud, he's got that flag. Assault clearing the way for him. 2 kills already. Cloud's going to get some help from Denoxide, and that flag will be scored. So a 1-0 start. It looks like Flamesword was having some controller issues. Hopefully he's able to get back up and running soon. We'll watch him off the spawn. But a very flat opening for OpTic Gaming. Maniac, and there we go. We're going to drop out for a second, guys. We'll get that running in just a moment.
Yeah, we could tell something was a little off because never is there a situation where just players just stand there just getting shot. So we'll have to figure out what that issue is. But either way, even if it is a 3-on-4 off the break, it seemed like Triggers Pound came out, got all the slays, and were very objective efficient regardless. It wasn't like they were sitting back trying to go for kill after kill, which has been something that we've seen thematically through some of these players. Like, you never used to think of Cloud or Hysteria as an objective player back in the day.
Well, I assume we'll go for a replay here, starting things off fresh. You saw Salto, you called him out as a player to watch. I think he missed 4 shots in his first 3 kills, and that was because the body was already dead. So the man, he's warm. These guys have been in the back all day practicing, getting ready for this match. Probably the biggest matchup for them throughout the entire group. You don't expect to beat Allegiance. You have to beat 2 other teams if you want to get through this
You have to be
group.
realistic when you go into pool play, especially if you aren't the top-seeded team.
Right.
You have to have the mentality saying, guess what? We aren't going to be afraid of Allegiance. We're going to come out swinging. We're going to try and beat them. However, if for whatever reason we don't beat them, we have to beat the other 2 squads to ensure we get out of our pool.
Guys, let us know, who do you think is going to take this best of 5? Use the hashtag TriggersPound or the hashtag OpTic, as well as HaloWC for your tweet to count. I'm going TriggersPound here. I called him to get through the group.
I did as
Gaming,
well.
Though, I hung out with these guys all last night, and they're pretty confident. Flamesword was just talking up his teammates, Chaser and Lifestyle. He's saying the young guys have so much talent. It's amazing how much they've learned in such a short amount of time with Flamesword as well. So we'll see what they're able to do in this CTF as it's loading up. I haven't watched Lifestyle or Chaser much in this game. How would you describe their play style?
Lifestyle is very aggressive. He's going to go for those challenge, for those double kills. He's going to try to be flashy, and you have to hope that he plays the same way at a major live event as he did online and through LCQ. He had no fear when he was playing against those other squads. Lifestyle was one of the main reasons that Envy had such a bad run in the online qualifier number 5. They played them in the round of 32, and I believe they 2-0'd Envy online. And so this is also Lifestyle, not on the squad with OpTic, with, I don't remember his other few teammates. That just goes to show how much of a name he made for himself in that online qualifier. I remember his stream shooting up to thousands of viewers after that, and then the whole chat the whole time is just Gary. Just spamming Gary the entire time, which is his first name.
He's ready to get it. There's a look at the young man. Chaser, great guy as well. Hung out with him last night, and real quiet guy on this squad. So Flamesword has always been a fantastic communicator. I want to hear OpTic Gaming throughout this series. We'll go to a listen-in midway through this CTF. Are they clicking? Are they on point? Because they're going to need to be. You know that you have some built-in teamwork coming in from Hysteria and Cloud, and Assault has always been a great communicator in his own right.
Yeah, and it's very telling when you go into those listen-ins, because you start to see exactly what they're calling out. When a team is not in control and they're just calling out one shot over here, or I need help, that's not a good sign. That means that you're hoping your teammates revolve around your gameplay.
Right.
However, when you're saying, I'm with you, or I got your help, or back down, stay alive, that is great communication, because lets your teammates know, guess what? You stay alive for a few more seconds, I have your help.
Small talk.
Yep, it's just all that small talk. And we're going to have to see who do you want to jump on?
We're going to Assault again,
Going to Assault again?
I mean, he cleared the way, and a flag got scored in the first minute last time we tried. So here he is, off the break. He is going to be running right up top. Is he challenged once again? The nades go flying, but no one is there to visit.
One thing interesting I saw out of the corner of Assault's eye is that Cloud is already top center, raining down shots over at the OpTic base. And once again, look who's grabbed the flag, Assault within the first 20 seconds of the game.
Big nade coming in, though, from Maniac, and this is a former teammate of Cloud's back in the day. They won some tournaments together. Didn't talk about Maniac at all in the pregame.
No, there's a dynamic from both these squads. We talked about, you know, obviously Assault being a teammate, former of Flamesword and Maniac, but at the same time, like you said, Maniac teamed over with Cloud and was a national champion. I believe that was 2009. So, yeah, obviously players that know how to play the game, and it's just going to be who outplays. I mean, Truth is one of those maps, it's a staple of Halo. If you had to say what map and game type represents Halo the best in its true form, I would say Truth Capture the Flag. It's just this arena-style map where both these teams are going back and forth, and there's no small exact tricks or nuances to it.
Maniac trying to push in, but that is now 3 down here for OpTic Gaming. The flag did get returned. So both flags at home, 0-0 score, and you got Lifestyle making some moves, Dave.
I love this play by Gary. Now look at what he's doing. He is over in the opposing base, and even though he's taken down, he distracted 2 members of Trigger's Pound over that base. That means the OpTic members have a 3-on-2 opposite side of the map.
And we'll take a look now. Flamesword getting the top position, going to try and move top middle. And he's going to go all the way across spots. One challenger, it's Hysteria. Hysteria missing the nade. Actually, it's going to connect. I thought he was out of that blast radius. Instead, Flame falls. Let's go to Hysteria, who's up top.
Yes, and Hysteria is one of those scary players. If you let him get comfortable and lay down shots across the map, he will do so much damage. You see that right there with a grenade kill and the assist for Assault. And I'm extremely impressed with Hysteria's growth over the years. He used to just be known as, all right, he gets the sniper on a Guardian Team Slayer or something like that, and he's going to drop 20-some kills. But now he's that player that knows how to make great decisions. He pushed into the flag with Cloud there, helped lay down some damage, at least traded a kill.
And I love what Maniac is doing here. Camo was just picked up. That was 940. But Maniac on the opposite end tosses out a flag, causes a little chaos, and now he's got a chance for the return. He's going to be cleaned up. Lifestyle is there, though.
Danoxide getting that perfect kill on Maniac, hitting 5 perfect shots. And as you mentioned before, that camo, which was burned at the 940 mark, will come up 2 minutes after his last grab. So we'll try to pay attention at 740 and see who goes for that next camo.
We'll go over to Denoxide now. You saw Assault carrying the flag. Denoxide's going to pick it up and slam it down. That is your first score of the game. Remember, it's just 1st to 3 here in Halo 5 for Truth CTF. And I want to stay on board with Denoxide for a little bit. You can see his teammates trying to apply some pressure, but OpTic Gaming now has a flag out. How is Denoxide going to handle this? With perfect shots.
Yes, with perfect shots. And I have to wonder, is that a great... First off, it was a great shot by Denoxide, but I have to question that flag route. I feel like if you're going to run it car side, you should just be going straight from level 2. I mean, Lifestyle might know a little bit better than me, but it just seems like he must have had cover on car side and just took the slightly different route.
And you just saw him get wrecked. Flamesword falls as well. We'll take it to Chaser. Chaser and Maniac doing big things. Maniac cleans up 2 as Chaser tries to lay down even more cover fire from this window. OpTic Gaming, they're only down 1, but it feels like they've kind of been on the back foot the entire time. Their flag runs have been sloppy, Dave. How do they clean it up?
Well, we've seen, as you said, it seems like they haven't been in control this whole game. If they're going to clean up these flag routes, they first off need to be pushing on their base. Look at this whole last sequence by Chaser. Over these last 20 seconds, he pushed towards car side's base, then pushed over towards pink side's base. This is 40 seconds of pressure that is not being applied to the Triggers Pound base.
Good point, my friend. Chaser getting pegged, knocked out of scope. Meanwhile, Maniac cleaning up perfect kills, and he's also running the flag. Let's go to the Ginger.
And for the very first time, when we do see Chaser actually move out of the base, and I believe Maniac grabbed that camo as he's running it, unless he left it for a teammate. Either way, the first time we saw Chaser move out of the base, look what happened. Looks like OpTic was able to push out, get the first flag cap, and we have a tie game here.
Chaser involved in the kill feed once again, but it's Denoxide and Assault now trying to push in. Maniac trying to fend off the counter cap. Gonna force Assault back, and I love this positioning.
Look at this veteran play by Maniac. He realized there's someone's bubble, and instead, he says, guess what? We can force out Pink and have a numbers advantage on this half of the map.
Heads up play, will it pay off? You see the nades coming in, lost a teammate down low, and all of a sudden there are explosions, there is death everywhere. Chaser, no shield, that is now 4 down. Let's take it over to Cloud.
And that's the danger of trying to play too defensive. Yes, at sometimes you have to play defensive in this game. You can't just let them grab your flag for free. But if that's your main strategy, you are not taking a very high risk versus reward assessment. By that, I mean, if you die near your base, the opposing team can grab the flag, and you are not a factor during this return back, like Cloud has.
And look at the patience from Cloud here on this run, guys. He didn't just force the flag in. He helped a teammate clean up a kill down low, hands off the flag, while assisting Assault with another kill. Triggers Pound is showing some phenomenal teamwork.
And look who's in the opposing base already. Hysteria, the player who we used to look as just a Slayer, is now running the 3rd and final flag down Pink.
Total dominance after the OpTic flag cap. Can Hysteria get this one home? He was hit by a grenade. And Hysteria's gonna get some help there from Cloud. Flag still out. Return trying to come in from Flamesword. Can they get to it?
This would be huge, but no. Flame eventually taken down. Cloud getting touch on it, and this is such a crucial battle. Whomever wins this, not only going to return, but possibly a cap.
Assault, last man standing, gets the nade off, but it's going to be OpTic pushing in. The man to watch right now, Lifestyle. Can he get this big return?
And it's huge to get the return, but not just that. He gets the next touch, and you got to wonder if that's getting a little too greedy. I agree with getting the recovery, but you have to start slaying there. So we're going to see if that was the right play or not, but it looks like both flags back at base now.
Yep. Both flags are home, and it looks like you are going to see OpTic with top control. The camo is up, Flamesword's making a move for it.
Yes, and after this, I would love to go back to Chaser, because one thing I saw there is, look at what happened last time a Chaser was on the base. They got kills, and they actually got their first caps. Now we see Chaser over at the Triggers Pound base. Chaser got a double kill. Even though taken down, his flag is in no threat of being pulled now. It's a big difference of being aggressive on your side of the map compared to the opposing side of the map.
OpTic Gaming trying to surge forward, and that's another big two-piece. Almost hits Hysteria on the exit. Maniac is fighting from the window, and he's got Mike pushing in for the flag. OpTic Gaming wants to go on the attack.
Yes, and great grenade by Maniac there, taking out Hysteria, finishing off top center. And I'd love to see Maniac push out of the base, because right now, OpTic putting so much pressure on the base. Flamesword going for a double kill, taking out his former teammate Assault. That should be the flag grab here any second.
Assault, you know he's got to be frustrated, taken down by an AR here. Flame still unable to get to the objective, though. The grenade's forcing him to back up. He's going to go chase after Assault, but Hysteria's down low. Triggers Pound covering each other very well as they're holding on this defensive stand, but Mike is still threatening.
Yes, and just getting swarmed. You got to wonder if what went wrong there with that flag grab, because it just seems like Flame got that double kill. He had a teammate over on the top of Triggers Pound base, but they just could not capitalize. And look at this, Chaser being aggressive. Double kill and finally getting that pull.
Are they going to be able to tie it up? Hysteria is going to be in his way. Chaser just tries to jump over, leave the flag for a teammate. Flamesword is going to be patrolling from the top. Let's go to Lifestyle, though. It looks like he may be the next one to run this.
Yes, and what they need to do right now, they meaning the OpTic Gaming Squad, is push this flag at least halfway across the map. Now, once you're back at your own base, you can slow it down if need be, but looks like on the kill feed, Chaser got two kills, and that's going to be a guaranteed cap for the tie.
Chaser's a quiet man, but boy, is he dangerous. Some massive double kills in the second half of this game. He's in the kill feed once again with the melee on Cloud. That's going to open things up. Here comes the push from Lifestyle. Has some support from Maniac. Dodging the shots from Hysteria, and he's going to hit that one.
The Gary reversal. You hate to see it happen to you.
Oh, beautiful stuff, Garrett. And here we got a big fight going on up top. That's going to be won by Chaser. Meanwhile, Maniac is taking out the knock side, but they're rotating back home.
Rotating back to their flag. I disagree with this 100%. They had two members of OpTic going back to their flag. Sure, they're clearing off these kills now, but guess what? All four members of Trigger Pound are going to spawn up and get a chance to defend.
I think this is going to work out for him, though. You're going to have Maniac actually losing all support. I take it back immediately, but I love this positioning. Storm Rifle in hand, able to pick up one, finds Hysteria, sloppy shots. Hysteria wins that fight, and that could have been it.
And I just think that was a huge mistake on OpTic's part. They could have pushed out so much faster. In a lot of cases, there is an ideal setup you like to have. You of course like to have ping tower, you like to have car tower, you like to have all the power positions. But at some point, if you're over at the opposing base, it doesn't matter if you have everyone car side. If everyone's on the same page together and you're able to escort the flag towards car side, it would have been a viable strategy.
That's Hysteria grabbing yet another flag. You can see Cloud's job here is just to support, kill the spawners. They had 3 down. Here comes the final flag. Denoxide is going to throw it in. Triggers Pound. They bend, but they don't break, Dave. Great bounce back after OpTic was putting the pressure on them.
And you just got to look at that difference in strategy. OpTic Gaming, they had 2 or 3 members down. Instead, they tried to flush out to both sides of the map. They tried to get pink and car. However, Triggers Pound, they got a couple kills. They all flooded car side, just grabbed the flag and ran it back car side. They didn't have a single player towards pink.
Looking at the damage, it was pretty one-sided affair. OpTic Gaming actually doing more damage than their opponents. But you look at Hysteria, what a game from him. 22 assists on a map like Truth. How is he getting it done?
That's just him being in a great position and also just pushing up and being so aggressive. I just said it so many times where we saw OpTic, especially someone like Chaser at certain positions or Maniac, just sitting back at their own base, like laying down shots. And even though they're getting kills and getting cleanups, sure, they're not in a position to grab the flag, whereas we saw Hysteria every single time over on the opposing side of the map. And if Hysteria dies, guess what? His flag's not getting pulled. Right. If he does get that kill or two, pulling that flag immediately and making a capture attempt.
I just took another look. Sorry, it's hard to see on these tiny screens of the amount of damage, but it looked like Maniac had 3,500 and Hysteria did 3,500 damage. The rest of their teammates pretty close, but below that. So these are my 2 guys that I'm going to be watching coming into this next Slayer. Revisiting the CTF, though, OpTic, few poor rotations, but what did Triggers Pound do that was more dominant than OpTic?
Trigger's Pound did not get distracted too much on their half of the map when they were starting to lose control. I guess what I'm trying to say is when OpTic would start to push towards their base, they wouldn't just panic and just sit at their own base. They'd slip someone out. Like a lot of times Hysteria was that player. He'd slip over towards pink side or through car side and be a threat in the opposing side of the map. And that's why we continually saw someone like Chaser over at his own base, because he kept finding someone slipping over and said, well, I better clear out this person or get the cap. But the mindset should be, guess what? We push over to the enemy base together, grab the flag, and we slay on the way back. You don't have to have the perfect step where you kill off everyone on your half, kill everyone on their side, and then have a guaranteed run back. It's sometimes going to be sloppy, especially when you have two evenly matched squads like Trigger's Pound and OpTic Gaming.
We're going to regret Team Slayer now, another big purple map. What's the key to victory on this? What do both teams need to do coming out of the gates?
Well, when talking to Lunchbox in the last interview, he kept emphasizing how important Fuel Rod is before going for Overshield. A lot of players get in the mindset, yes, if you had to choose between Overshield and Fuel Rod, I would choose Overshield personally.
Right.
I think it's such a versatile power-up that you're guaranteed to take some damage and you can make something come up. You're guaranteed to get a kill or two or distract at least 2 or 3 members of the opposing team. However, what some players neglect to do is to go for that Fuel Rod before Overshield, because Overshield spawns up 2 minutes after his last grab. Fuel Rod is on a static timer, meaning it spawns up at the 2-minute mark every time. So a 12-minute Team Slayer game, exactly at the 10-minute mark, Overshield's come up. Fuel Rod's coming up. Exactly at the 8-minute mark, so on and so forth. And so what you can do is you can go grab that Fuel Rod and then go help at the Overshield, because that's going to be slightly delayed. No one's going to grab that Overshield until the at least 10 seconds into the game.
Right, and we saw commonly just go and burn it for EG. But Tally wrote down that time, and after that moment, they got every single Overshield and every single Fuel Rod against Envy. Who's going to control the power-ups in this one? You look down at the coaches. Each squad has a coach. You have a Call of Duty champion and Big Timer hanging out behind the OpTic guys. Do you think he knows the times here on this map?
Big Timer definitely knows the times, without a doubt. However, when I think of who would be scariest having the Fuel Rod in their hands, I would be frightened to see that in the hands of Hysteria. Someone like him. He's a monster. Like I said, he's notorious back in the day in something like Halo 3, where he could at any moment drop 25+ kills in a Team Slayer game on either a pit or a Guardian when he had the sniper rifle. He just knows how to watch every angle, knows how, if you misstep one little step, he's going to hit the Fuel Rod perfectly, hit a body shot, and guaranteed kill.
Halo 1 through 3. We didn't have any Fuel Rods in the competitive play. Dave, what's the secret to this weapon? How does it work, and what do you want to see from Hysteria once he does get his hands on it?
Always at least getting that splash damage on a player, or you always will get them the second shot. So what you should always be doing is laying that first shot down. So for those unfamiliar with Fuel Rod, it's this big green blast of damage, and it has a bunch of splash damage similar to a rocket launcher. If you shoot it at somebody, and if you hit a buy shot, it's a guaranteed one-hit kill.
Okay.
So what you can do is, if you shoot it where a player's at and they thrust, you should be able to predict that second shot and at least get them either a one-shot kill, or you should be able to get them to no shields where one of your teammates can finish off the kill.
If you guys are just watching Halo 5 for the first time, welcome to the stream, guys. We have Trigger's Pound going up against OpTic Gaming. You got national champions on both sides of the stage. And this is going to be one hell of a battle. Of course, the Overshield spawning bottom middle. You can see the Fuel Rod there at the top of the map. It'll be a race to the top. And we're going to open things up with Hysteria. Said this is a guy, once he gets power weapons, can do massive damage, immediately goes sprinting for that Fuel Rod.
Yes, and what I like the way he's doing those grenades is he's looking for hit markers. So if you're new to Halo 5, Webbs, when you do some damage to somebody, whether it's a shot or a grenade, you get these little hyphenated bars near your cursor, and it shows that you did damage to someone. So he's realizing, guess what, if I get hit markers, I'm going to jump up, challenge, and finish off that person that hit with the grenade. If I don't, I'm still just play it cool. Let my teammates do some damage over at the street, and then I'll poke out.
Hysteria and Assault working together. Assault was able to get that first Overshield, we should point out. The Fuel Rod was just grabbed by Flamesword from OpTic Gaming. So the team's trading power-ups, but so far it's an even match, 4-4. Assault taking shots from all over, can't find his attackers.
And just absolutely even. Like you said, it's odd because Assault had the very first Overshield. You'd expect for them to have some sort of larger lead or more presence on the map. I mean, Cloud does have that Fuel Rod, hits a nice buy shot on Lifestyle and taking out Maniac for the double kill. But still, same time, they're only up by 1 kill. I'd love to see them get in better position.
You saw Cloud drop down from the top. and he will lose that fuel rod, but not before getting a killing spree. Nice job, takes it out of Flamesword's hand and does the damage. You can see Cleat, that's Assault pushing top middle, but I want to stay on board with Cloud. This has always been one of my favorite players to watch. You talked about Hysteria's ability to run the power weapons. This man used to do it for BTH.
Yes, Cloud is one of those scary players that he will take advantage of opportunities that your teammates create. I never really see Cloud as much on the front line, and of course as I say that, he's going to jump right in after a player that he weakened. However, main point being is that he usually likes to sit back, evaluate the situation, just lay down shots cross map because he has such a steady shot. It's been proven through his Halo 3 days playing Octagon and just how, being the 2009 national champion. Whole point being is he has such a steady shot, he likes to sit back, he's comfortable doing that, and then he pushes up when the opportunity arises.
OpTic Gaming hanging out around the overshield to see Lifestyle patrolling bottom middle. Hasn't found anyone. Chaser's going to call out one, and he will be able to come clean up Denoxide.
You got to wonder, though, shouldn't have Lifestyle just gotten that kill and then backed over towards Overshield? It might pay off, though, as he's trying to take out Cloud. His teammate takes out Cloud, and I cannot see if anyone got Overshield. It may have been burned.
Yeah, I don't see it on anyone's health bar. So we're going to hang out with Lifestyle, waiting for Denoxide. Very aggressive peek. Denoxide forced down by 2 players. OpTic Gaming's team shot is starting to come together, and they just grabbed the new fuel rod. Let's go over to Maniac, who's got the big boy.
We're going to have to see if we can get in a better position because I have said before, yes, you want to generally use probably 2 fuel rod shots in order to pick somebody off. However, that also implies that you're in a decent position. If you're down on the bottom side of the map and someone has height advantage, you're probably not going to be very successful with this weapon.
Smart switch back to the pistol once he saw the shield pop. Here he is dropping shields, but can't finish his assault. Does get some help as Chaser picks up the double kill. But nice positioning now for Maniac. This is exactly what OpTic wanted to set up, and you can see it now in the scoreboard, 24-16.
It was a 1-kill game, but Regret is one of those maps and game types where if you start to get control, if you start getting the spawn kills, you can just pull away. And as we saw, a 1-kill game turned into a 8-kill lead for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, we got to go to Chaser. He was just sky high. The man has been climbing the map. And he's just jumping out and challenging. Unfortunately, won't be able to get much done. Lifestyle here's the call out, but can't get any angles. And again, I think this is going to come down to the next overshield pop. You're going to see a big battle down low. If you can get it for Trigger's Pound, you got a chance of coming back in this game.
Now, normally I would say bottom center in this map is not as great a position until Overshield's coming up, but I like that play from Lifestyle there because he realized he was the only one alive. He just tried to stay alive, tried to get a different position from his teammates. The danger on Regret is if all 4 members of your squad are spawning in the same quadrant. You don't have any lines of sight. You cannot cross-map shoot, and the other team can completely collapse on you. And so Lifestyle, pushing out of the base like that, even though it's taken out, diverted the Trigger's Pound attention.
Here comes Assault trying to help out down low, and they might have just handed over that fuel rod. 3 down, as you can see it in third person. Denoxide unable to get it going.
That's not what you want to see have happen because they lost not only fuel rod, they lost Overshield, and all 4 members of Trigger Pound are spawned in the same spot. Expect to see an OpTic Gaming collapse here any second.
Hysteria fends off one as they trade kills, but he loses Denoxide to Flamesword's charge. Hysteria versus the overshielded Maniac, and Maniac is going to lose all shield here. Nice push here from Triggers Down. You expected OpTic to be able to take advantage of this? They are way too late to the party.
Yes, we expected them to collapse about 15 seconds ago, and we finally did see Flamesword and Lifestyle collapse in, but as you said, it was too late. They did get a couple kills, but they could have taken even more advantage of that situation.
I think OpTic's just trying to play this one safe. They're not worried about getting the kills rapidly. They know they have a 10-point advantage. They just got to hold on to a safe lead. Maniac forcing 2 players back somehow. I don't know what's going on here for Trigger's Pound. Maniac should be dead.
That was an incredible play by Maniac, just using height to his advantage, doing so much damage, and relying on his teammate Chaser to help back him up and finish off those kills.
And you can see Chaser again in the kill feed with some grenades, 42-29. Dave, you just shook your head. What are you frustrated with?
It's just a 1-kill game, and that's just the how much this map and game type can swing at any moment against a top team in the world. One of these squads can go on a 10 to 15 kill run.
OpTic Gaming trying to tie up our series at 1-1. Remember, this is a best-of-5. First team to win 3 is going to take our series, and 7 kills away is Maniac. How many players is he going to shoot? 4 players taking damage before he finally falls.
That had to be
to his teammate.
Had to be a team takedown medal from the Triggers Pound squad as they were all shooting Maniac. Now, Maniac was in a great position to try to get that fuel rod, and what I was going to say is that he needs to make sure that does not get in the opposing hands, or at least goes towards the bomb side of the map. When you have a significant lead against the opposing team, something like 13 kills, you just need to make sure that power weapons and power-ups don't go in other players' hands. You don't need to get greedy. You don't need to say, well, I need to save the sniper ammo, or I need to save the fuel rod ammo. You just need to realize, guess what? This is their key to getting back in the game, and if I throw it out, they cannot get back in.
All right, we just saw 4 down for OpTic Gaming for the first time this game, but OpTic is just 1 kill away. Let's find it. And it looks like it's coming from Chaser, and he will hit the shots. Strong game from Chaser. A lot of cleanup kills as he is going to top the leaderboard with Flamesword there. But honestly, I thought Maniac had some incredible plays throughout this game, just staying alive, being a nuisance.
A great team effort from OpTic all around. Now, one thing that Chaser's playstyle sort of reminded me of was the old status quo playstyle of Enable. So if you remember the famous status quo lineup, which was it was Flamesword, Enable, Ace, and Assault.
Yep.
And what happens, they had this interesting dynamic where a player like Enable was just this flanker. He would always kind of be the last one to swoop in. Do you want to take a quick look at these stats before I go on my rant?
Yeah, let's take a quick peek here, Dave. Walk us through.
I am not seeing
Chaser gets the headshots.
There we go. I saw 10 assists from Lifestyle, and Maniac for something I want to say like
He had 9.
50,
11 and 9.
61%. And that's pretty impressive considering we saw how many battles he had cross map. So great accuracy. A lot of times, even though it did show quite a few, we saw like, what's that? 25, 32 assists from the OpTic Gaming squad. Regardless.
You're good at blackjack, aren't you? I can't add that fast. Very impressive stuff.
Either way, even with that many assists, sometimes the stat screen doesn't tell the full story. We just saw Maniac doing so much damage.
Right.
Like, sure, he got that 1 assist, but think about that one time where he held off 2 members, he stayed alive, and eventually finished off 1 of the kills. That just shows us 1 kill and 1 assist. In my books, that was a game-changing play.
32 assists out of your 50 kills. I love it, man. Let's see if OpTic can keep up the teamwork. The series is all tied up 1 apiece. And Denoxide looking over to the veterans, wondering what went wrong in that last game. How do we get back into it heading into this next stronghold?
Well, hopefully these veterans tell Denoxide not to worry about the last game. You always need to be looking forward and say, guess what? Up next is Plaza Strongholds. Any mistakes we had earlier in the series does not matter. We just need to worry about the future games.
In CTF, we saw OpTic being a little bit hesitant, and that led to Triggers Pound able to run away with the victory. But OpTic showing off some great teamwork, good power weapon control throughout this layer, just made sure Triggers Pound never got to it. I think that's going to be the difference maker here. Can Triggers Pound get control of the railgun? Can they control the power weapons heading into Plaza? Because honestly, their team shot was off.
Yeah, but you also even look into the Truth CTF. Yeah, the railgun will play a big effect in this next map compared to Plasma Caster on Truth. However, you saw they just got out objective on the Truth CTF. And this map, I would argue, has fewer power weapons than any other strongholds for the most part. I mean, I would take a scatter shot, I would take a sniper, I would take rockets, anything. I would take any of those weapons over railgun.
Yeah, shotgun is on this map.
Yep.
We saw Snipe Down using it. Who is going to get to it in this game? It's loading up right now. Plaza Strongholds. I was talking to Nated. He said nest and bottom middle is what you want to control.
Yes.
If you're stuck with Yard, how do you retake control on this map?
You have to just push out to opposite sides. A lot of times you see all players like push towards Cafe or all try to make a push towards Nest, but that usually fails because players that can just cross map you all the way, from Cafe or whatever, you have to put pressure on both sides and see which side's weaker. You have to try to play the number game. You can't assume that the other team has the perfect counter to what you have. So if you send 3 towards Nest and 1 towards Cafe, or the reverse of that, in any way you have to do 2 different angles.
There's a look at Lifestyle. There is Cloud on the other side for Triggers Pound. Players getting ready to go here, and you can see the fans. 80% of you out there on the internet think it's going to be OpTic Gaming. Make sure you use that hashtag HaloWC for your votes to count. It's not too late. Keep sending in your votes, guys. Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, I mean, you and I both already said in our caster predictions. We both chose Triggers Pound, but OpTic looked so strong in that last game that a lot of times when I'm looking at exact series, I try to go based on what's happened so far. So Triggers Pound won the very first game of this, which was an objective game. We're on game 3, another objective game. I have to give the advantage to Triggers Pound based on that fact alone.
I like the objective call here, Dave. It was a very close objective game, we should remind people.
Absolutely.
A 3-2 total score after game 1. But here we go, getting into the action. We're on board with Denoxide. He's the youngster here on Triggers Pound. And really, he's done some phenomenal stuff online. Pretty quiet in that last game for TS.
Yeah, at some point, I would love to go to a listen with some of these players and just hear how they're communicating. Because in an intense series like this, especially when it's 1-1, I mean, you know some players are going to falter into that. But in the end, I'm sure, like, it looks like he's just chewing gum at some points. It's like, whatever, guy over at yard. I killed him. No big deal.
Just relaxing. He's not seeing too much. And what he does see, he's cleaning up. Assault in the kill feed. They're working with Denoxide. Now you're going to see nice shots coming in. Cleat cleans it up, and they have total control.
Yeah, and look at that. It's because all the members of OpTic were all pushed in one area of the map, like over at that cafe. If you think about it, Denoxide was not getting pressured from any other position. So he was able to just lay down shots at dip, lay down shots over, again, once at dip, and just stay there without any pressure. And so that was the reason that it seemed like all the members of OpTic were taking down that situation. However, this game is far from over. We're only 20 seconds in for the Triggers Pound squad, and as we've seen on Strongholds before, you can't even get comfortable if you have 99 points, because another squad can get a full setup and hold it the rest of the game.
Yeah, Triggers Pound had the trip cap early in this game. That's how they were able to grow their lead so significantly. And they're going to maintain it, controlling the 2 points. They got the nest, they got bottom middle, doing everything right here, and Hysteria has been the only player to touch the railgun so far.
And there we go, OpTic Maniac taking out Denoxide. This is the opportunity you need from someone on your squad when you are stuck in yard. I was talking to Ghostiami earlier, and he said he believes the key to success of breaking out of yard is getting someone over at that glass area. And that seems like what Hysteria was focusing on, taking somebody down. He believes it's that because you get to see where everyone's at and you can be a constant pressure on the opposing squad.
Beautiful grenade there, and then he just deals with Flame Sword. Hysteria is putting on a show for all players.
And not only blocking spawns as bomb Camo left, but guess what he's grabbed right now? His coach is telling him Camo coming up in a second, and Hysteria grabs it at the 950 mark, making Camo spawn up next at 750.
You got a Predator out in the wild right now. Hysteria fully loaded, just calling out that player. Hits the rail, cleans it up with the pistol on Lifestyle, sees a player charging him on the radar, so he's forced to go out. And that's a big loss. You just lost rail and you lost your Camo man, but they aren't losing any objectives, Dave.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to OpTic Gaming there for taking out Hysteria, because Hysteria had nowhere to run. He took out one member and got collapsed in from nest and bottom center.
Looking over at OpTic Gaming, I'm trying to figure out why they are struggling so much. It just seems anytime they get into the stronghold, they're being scared out. You see bottom middle trying to be taken by OpTic. Flame Sword looks like he's going to capture it. Can OpTic move to the top now and get a second?
Yeah, Flame and the OpTic squad have an unorthodox step at the moment. This is just one of those times where it's, guess what, we have yard right now, and right now we're going to battle as much as possible for bomb center, and Hysteria getting the perfect kill on Flame Sword, turning around, and a great trade for Hysteria.
Looking straight up, that's not an easy fight to win, and he didn't miss a shot. Perfect kill coming in. We're looking at Maniac. This is a guy who laid down quite a shot, did the most damage in game number 1. It's been pretty quiet so far. I haven't seen him all over the kill feed like we're used to, but now it looks like they've got some control back.
One thing I'm seeing OpTic seem to make a mistake is they start to break out of yard, they get a kill or two, and it seems like they instantly dive on bomb center.
Right.
I feel like they should be focusing on nest. If they get nest, they have this height advantage, and ground pound coming in from Flame Sword, almost taking out Cloud. It was actually taken out by his teammate. Maniac, who gets a double kill, is hiding over on
That's
Furious.
3 down for Triggers Pound. Now's the time you got to pounce on him. Lifestyle hanging out bottom middle, trying to find that final kill, and they're just getting rained on from above. I think you're right, Dave. They got to get the high ground
down low every
sooner
single
than later.
time. I mean, the one time we did see an OpTic member up high, Hysteria pulled off a sick 5-shot to take out Flame Sword, who was over at Snipe 3.
OpTic finally with 2 strongholds will be able to score 17 and counting to 69. As Dave said, they're never out of this game. They can bring it back.
Once again, look at Chaser's screen. He sees his two teammates. They already have bomb center, but they have 3 members down low. Why are so many members of OpTic down low?
Up top is Maniac for the moment, trying to recapture the nest, but he is going to be forced out, and Eliminated will take it over to Lifestyle, who's going to try and push across the map. And I think the problem is, Dave, they just can't cross this top center.
No, I guess I just feel like they commit a bit too much towards bomb center. By that, yes, of course, when you're pushing over towards Cafe, it's going to be really tough sometimes to push across that open area. However, they should be taking the cinema stairs once they're pushing out from circle area. And here we go. For the first time, we're seeing OpTic get control of Nest and actually have the height advantage. Let's see what they can do with full step, because not only do they have bomb center and Nest, they have control yard for the time being.
This is exactly what we saw from Trigger's Pound in the first minute. Total control. The 3 cap is going to help them catch up significantly. Chaser doing a great job staying alive.
I love that
finally taking
position,
down.
but what a grenade from Cloud. And it looks like Trigger's Pound are going to take absolute advantage of that situation, having 2 or 3 members jumping in bomb center.
Maniac just trying to peek out, is going to find the injured player down low, making sure there's no angles for his teammates to help. Maniac doing a great job there to finish off this one, but they've lost 2 strongholds already. They couldn't hold on to it. What went wrong?
It just felt like, I guess I'm not sure. It just seemed like they were in decent position for once. We saw them up in Nest, but I don't know what Chaser was doing that one time being top center. Top center exposed. Sure, you can get up top on the sneaky ledge above yard. You can be up top at snipe 3 or 4. But look at this, 2 members of OpTic top center. We saw Denoxide get an easy kill on Lifestyle Maniac. There's a difference between being up top and being out in the open up top.
I do want to give props to Denoxide. He has stepped up in the last minute. 6 straight kills, looking for number 7. Storm Rifle going out as Cloud is going to finish this one 100-44. Just when we thought OpTic was on the comeback with the trip cap, Trigger's Pound comes in and just takes over this game.
We saw some moments of hope from this OpTic squad, but it just seemed like we kept seeing the same mistakes over and over again. You'd like to see them switch it up, but sometimes tournament mode isn't the time to be switching strategies. You need to stick to what you know and what you've practiced.
Absolutely, my friend. Looking through some of the numbers, I was kind of shocked to see how little damage OpTic Gaming did. 1,600, 1,800, 1,700, compared to 2,200 and 2,400 here from this Trigger's Pound squad.
And Hysteria going 18-7, helping the squad outslay OpTic Gaming by 20 kills. So that's just, it's tough to be objective efficient when you're getting outslayed that heavily. Objective efficiency comes into play when you're even in slays or just slightly negative. But when you get outslayed by 20 kills, I guess I can't say I'm surprised based on a lot of OpTic's positioning. OpTic did some great plays trying to stay alive and buy time, but we just see so many times where they'd get 2 or 3 members of Trigger's Pound down, and we'd see 2 or 3 members of OpTic bomb center. That's not necessary.
That's the second time we've seen Hysteria topping all players in terms of damage as well. So it seems when it comes to objective, they just call it out to Hysteria, go kill things. We'll take care of everything else. He held the power weapons, he held the nest almost that entire game. So very strong performance from Trigger's Pound. They are now on match point. Will they close it out here? We're about to find out.
Yeah, and I think the theme I've seen this whole match is positioning. It seems like when OpTic are in great position, like we saw in that regret game, they were only down in bomb center during times where teammates were down and they were buying time. However, when we saw in this most recent Plaza Strongholds game, they're down low for so often.
We'll see how it plays out. Coliseum capture the flag is back. Can OpTic Gaming take it to the rig and force a game 5, or will they fall here? I want to see some 6 snipers coming out, Dave.
I believe Sniper is the most powerful weapon here on this next map because there's just so many open lines of sight. Coliseum is one of those games where you can snipe from your bridge, you can snipe from rocket corner. There's just almost every single position you can pretty much snipe from. So I expect to see some brains being taken this next round.
All right, it's time to give you guys a Twitter update. You're going to see still 80-20. Trigger's Pound getting the business from the OpTic fans online, guys. Use your hashtag HaloWC and hashtag Trigger's Pound or hashtag OpTic. Who do you think is going to take this series? Remember, Trigger's Pound is on match point with an opportunity to close it out right here. Now, when we go to Coliseum, we have seen some incredible CTF play from one team in particular, and that's CLG. They were phenomenal on this map to open up the day. If OpTic Gaming wants to have a similar performance and capture the flag, what is the preferred route here for Coliseum?
Preferred route generally seems to be through Fountain or through Bridge, depending on the situation. Seems like most teams opt for Fountain when they have sort of control of the map. So it's very safe to bring the sniper over towards the opposing cave where you block spawns, and then you just have easy lines of sight to pick off players on rocket side.
Do you ever want to take it rocket side?
Yeah, you could definitely take a rocket side in a situation where you're getting slaves on opposing base and they're spawning near fountain or cave. However, in a lot of cases too, you might as well just go bridge at that point and then drop it down rocket side.
Run away from the enemy spawn, it makes sense. Off the start, we're going to open things up here with Chaser and OpTic Gaming. Chaser immediately goes snags that SMG, and he's going to take over Snipe Tower. Will he be able to hold it? No, he's going to be dropped by Denoxide to start things off, and I want to see who did get the snipe.
Hasn't been grabbed yet.
It looks like nobody.
I mean, nobody wants to touch that yet. They are both playing a very smart style of saying, I need to get these slaves first, and then I'm going to back off. Sure, these top pros are capable of hitting amazing no-scopes, but that is not their first line of defense.
And it took 30 seconds for Lifestyle to finally get his hands on it, but he makes it worth it. Lands the first shot square between the eyes of Assault. Another one up top. Maniac will clean up that one. Let's go over to Maniac, who picks up the snipe.
Yes, and you know Maniac wanted to grab that weapon. He's one of those players that says, don't worry, guys, I'm all the way across the map, but I'll be the one to grab the sniper. You guys don't worry about it, I'll get it.
Just keep moving your way. I'll take care of that.
But Maniac, man, you're over at their flag. Why don't you just pull? I'll come back and get sniper, and then I'll come back and get flag.
Speaking of sniper, it's now in the hands of Trigger's Pound. Denoxide scoops it up, and he is going to be running home, it looks like. Feeling the pressure, doubling back. He's going for the high ground. Is he going to be able to find an opponent?
Now, I don't know if I like this play. This is so aggressive sniper. Of course, when you can hit no-scopes like this, Denoxide is going to be the furthest one up and pulling the flag. Now, this is just such a risky play because if he's successful, sure, he's going to get the flag out, but the sniper is not going to be a factor during this Trigger's Pound cap. And if he loses it just like he did, he just gave sniper rifle to OpTic Gaming.
Lifestyle just ran past the Trigger's Pound.
Oh my God!
And they got the business. Flame Sword watching as Chaser gets the return, excuse me.
That was not a perfect kill by Assault, but he hit more shots than Lifestyle in that situation. I can't really say he's a former teammate because I believe Lifestyle ended up replacing Assault when he did leave this OpTic squad in Hysteria, somehow dropping most kills, most damage, and doing the most objective work.
Hysteria scooping up the flag thrown out by his teammate. And there's a little slap to the body as he gives Maniac a touch.
He's a crowd pleaser right now. You hear everyone in the crowd just saying, oh, after seeing those incredible shots, but also take note of that amazing position by Hysteria. Yes, he executed and hit the shots. Most important though, he only had a fraction of his head available for Maniac to shoot, so just incredible position by Hysteria.
He is so fast there to go and chase down that kill on Chaser as well. Using the boost perfectly. He's going to get in position for this new sniper, but the rockets are nearby. Maniac is coming for revenge, and he just picked up two, taking out Cloud, and Hysteria will fall. Big hold here from OpTic Gaming, and they're not going for the power weapon. They're going for the objective.
Yes, and I like this play. They have him in perfect position. Maniac taken down by some great shots. Now I'd like to see Lifestyle at least pick up these rockets, which he does. And it looks like OpTic Gaming have the Trigger's Pound members spawn over at Fountain and are going to opt for a rocket side run.
Chaser's just trying to distract. He got the DMR in the hands of Flamesword as well. And a few sloppy grenades. Chaser not getting the job done like he wanted to.
Just seems like OpTic's a little unorganized in some of these objective games. They do a great job of buying time, staying alive, and making each life count in the Team Slayer match, but that's not how objective works. You need to push over to the opposing base, create as many opportunities as possible, and just take advantage of a few of them.
Hysteria pushing in is going to chase down Maniac. Sniper has been picked up, and Hysteria's fully loaded. Scatter shot sniper combo.
Yes, and this is so dangerous in the hands of a player like Hysteria. He knows how to position so well. We saw how well he positioned something like Pistol and taken down by Maniac. I was trying to give Hysteria credit, and that's always the caster curse. You always talk about, like, this player is always in perfect position, not going to get picked off without being in a position where he can just scatter shot somebody and just caught with his pants down in the middle of bridge.
It's the spawner's fault, man. It's not yours, Dave. Let's take it over to Assault. Both power weapons down within the OpTic Gaming base. Trigger's Pound still applying the pressure on the spawners, though. You see a lot of ARs being put to use. Up close and personal action. Denoxide not backing down. Continues to rain nades into the base.
And it looks like even though Trigger's Pound are down in numbers in certain cases, they aren't afraid to keep the pressure on. They realize that a death on the opposing side of the map isn't as costly as a death on your half of the map.
And look at the attempt here from Denoxide. He's going to take it out. Hysteria is just waiting with rockets to punish anyone coming for the return. And Hysteria will get the toss-off. Denoxide will stay on board with him through the respawn. How is he going to play this? All of his teammates are down. He knows OpTic is going to be surging towards their base.
Yes, and he doesn't even try to go for that flag grab, which is smart, which has been a wasted life, but instead just takes it slow and is trying to look for picks, eventually taken down by the scatter shot of Lifestyle.
Now let's go over to Lifestyle with that scatter shot. No shield, no problem. Going to get up top, rotating back. Spots Hysteria, who is going for that sniper as always. And Hysteria will fall. Let's take it back to Denoxide, who is trying to just defend his flag, but here comes OpTic.
Yeah, we are finally seeing OpTic on the offensive, and that is instantly shut down by the Splinter Grenade of Denoxide, who not only got a kill, but looks like he did massive amount of damage, and right now, Trigger's Pound going immediately on the offensive.
Denoxide shooting everybody here. Cloud cleaning it up with the AR, and you see Hysteria come flying through with a two-piece. That's 4 down for OpTic.
Look how fast they collapse in. When we see OpTic get that many kills, they aren't over at the opposing flag yet. Right now, had Denoxide gotten a kill, he could have pulled the flag within a couple seconds. We need to see OpTic be a little more aggressive. They have the skill, they have the talent, they just need to put the pressure on.
OpTic is constantly spawning out a rocket as well. You saw Cloud trying to go for that new rocket. Instead, he is going to be forced back. Rocket's popping right now. Here goes Denoxide up for the push. Let's see, will they be able to get the power weapons once again? And Denoxide swoops, grabs it, and then pocket rockets himself in the face.
Very familiar sight for you, I am sure.
I've done it 1,000 times, Dave.
I was going to say, when rockets on this map is something you like to get towards bomb center when you don't have a great amount of control on the map. You can push over towards the opposing bridge, and what a great rocket by Lifestyle, taking out Assault and his sniper rifle. And we are seeing OpTic finally push up. They do everything right 75 to 90% of the way, and then it just seems like once they get to the opposing flag, they slow it down. Look at this. Right now, they're just a bit hesitant. Lifestyle is full shield. Go in, poke, see where opposing players are at.
You have two OpTic players stacked up on each other. It looks like, Dave, the plan was just wait for the new sniper rifle. So while you have Lifestyle distracting here with this scatter shot, Maniac's getting top middle, and that sniper is now primed in position to lay some cover fire down. Picks up one, but there's no one to pull the flag.
I like this play by Maniac, pushing in towards Fountainside. Here's the setup we said before. When you have sniper, and what a snapshot by Maniac, and wisely backs down. Eventually goes for this last challenge, but someone's going to get a nice wreck pack because of Maniac's double kill there. But either way, great position by Maniac, pushing towards Fountain and allowing his team to push in. Just seems like he came in a little too late.
Don't worry, guys. If you didn't get this wreck pack, you can go buy yourself one, or Maniac will give you a second. Maniac, just another double kill, is hunting for more, finds it bottom center. You got his teammate running the flag. Everything is all gravy for OpTic Gaming.
And seeing those snipes, seeing those played by Maniac is no question why he is a national champion, winning MLG in 2009, along with his opposing player right now, who is Cloud. These players are battling out, and OpTic, they're showing life.
Chaser ties up the score. We got 4 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock. Remember, this is do or die for OpTic Gaming right now. They're facing elimination in the series.
One thing I'm super impressed so far, although I've been a little critical of some of Chaser's decisions as far as playing defensive compared to aggressive, he showed up to play. He's a player that has not had as much tournament experience when you talk about players like Hysteria, Cloud, Flamesword. However, he has risen to the challenge and is representing this OpTic Gaming squad phenomenally.
And he had a really smart play. If you watched him finish off the last flag run, Chaser threw the flag up, no shield, goes for the boost grab, puts it in safely, and escapes with his life. So some heads-up plays when he needs it. Maniac, though, on your screen is just trying to force his way out of the base. They are getting pinched from all directions. Denoxide was pushing in. He had Assault and Hysteria with him, and now it looks like Assault, he's just going to rotate back up rockets and then traverse the entire map to go over with Cloud.
Looks like Assault is not afraid to stack one side of the map with his team, realizing we're going to have better success being in numbers. Sure, we might not have as many lines of sight, but if we're together, we should have success pushing one side.
Denoxide's going to finish off Assault's killer and take over his position top center. Will they push in for the final flag? All 4 members of Triggers Down are up, and it looks like we now have a sniper rifle in the hands of Hysteria once again. This is the time, Dave.
And look at Chaser snuck over to Triggers Bound base. distracted for Flamesword to get that backsmack, and it looks like Hysteria's flag is out. This could be a huge play for the OpTic Gaming squad.
I was just talking about how Triggers Pound looked primed for a score, but instead OpTic causing a little objective dilemma. You're going to see Cloud getting the return, so both flags at home. Triggers Pound trying to reestablish control over of Snipe side, but OpTic Gaming is not going to give it up without a fight.
No, and I think that was just a huge play by Chaser there, creating that whole opportunity. It didn't pay off, but whole point being is that's a actual opportunity OpTic has in the flag. Rather than them trying to execute the perfect flag grabs, they need to go for more grabs. They can't just expect to outslay Triggers Pound 2 or 3 times in a row and pull perfect flag cap back.
And apologies, guys, momentarily unable to switch your perspectives, but we're going to stay on board with Cloud for a moment. He's going to find the Rockets up top. Will he be able to escape with his life? Nope, Rockets are still down up top. And the battle will continue downloaded.
Look at, all right, this is one small facet that players do very well at top level is Cloud did not switch his perspective after he died. A lot of players just started to flip through and see what their teammates are doing. Instead, Cloud rotated his death screen and said, guess what? There's someone over at our bridge. And he looked over at top Rockets and said, no one top Rockets. So the whole point being is, even if you don't see an opponent on your area, or on your death screen, it's still information that helps your teammates. You can say, guess what? No one's top Rockets. Don't even bother looking there. They're most likely coming snipe or bottom center.
Cloud coming back to life, able to go grab his Rockets. Meanwhile, his teammates still trying to put the pressure on from Snipe side. So they're going for a pinch here. All 4 members of OpTic Gaming are up though, and Chaser is grabbing the flag. We'll stay on board with Cloud as he defends this one well. Smart plays from Triggers Pound. They know they have the advantage here. They just have to hold on for 45 seconds.
Yes, it's very smart to play defensive at times, but we did see this backfire against a squad like Envy, where Mikwin tried to push back with that camo and play too defensive. Is that going to be the same case here for Cloud and the Triggers Pound squad?
It looks like flag is going to be protected. Here comes the grab, though. Go to Chaser if you can control, and it looks like Cloud is going to find 2 inside the base. Chaser winning that war with his teammate. They lost their cover, though, on Snipe side. He's got to force it through the middle. Only 17 seconds remain.
And that was just Triggers Pound being too defensive. Looks like Maniac's going to try to rally this out, but 2 members of Triggers Pound takes him out, and that should surely be a flag recovery and the end of OpTic's match here against Triggers Pound.
3 seconds left, 2 seconds, 1 second. Triggers Pound is moving on in this group. Very strong play so far. That's their first big win and arguably their biggest win that they needed in this group against OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I would also agree with you. I would say OpTic is one of the biggest threats here in this group. However, I believe it is Dream Team who is also the 8th seed,
right.
So they are going to be no easy feat. This is one of those odd pools where it's kind of like Allegiance is a clear favorite. They're the #1 seed for a reason. However, all 3 of these squads, it's no question that all of us casters had different predictions of who was going to make it out.
Of course. And you can see, guys, solid game across the board. It's Hysteria once again, 3,800. On the other side, Maniac had a phenomenal series when it comes to dropping damage. He puts up 3,900, and Flamesword showed up as well. They just couldn't get the flag captures that they needed. They just never seemed to really make the moves when you wanted them to, Dave. In both CTF games, we saw the same issue, just a little hesitation, not getting to that objective fast enough.
Yeah, and it just seemed like they wanted to go for like this perfect ideal setup where it's like, guess what, we have all 4 dead and we're pushing their flag and we're pulling it out. That's not how Halo works in the real world. When you're going against a team of this caliber, you can't expect to be able to outslay all 4, have all 4 of you alive, and be on the flag ready. You need to have some losses. You need to realize, guess what, we need to be able to have 2 or 3 of us push on their flag, gain the pole, and moving out and slaying on the way back. I don't think we saw very often OpTic ever slay on the way back for a flag game. They almost always relied on some sort of mistake or a counter cap, or they already had all 4 kills on the opposing base and then pulled it back. So it just seems like they have their one way of setting up and pulling a flag, and we're not able to adapt.
Well, we know one thing. Triggers Pound has a win in their column. OpTic Gaming has a loss in their column. So OpTic Gaming's not out, though. I don't want to confuse anyone out there. They have to go through Dream Team. You got to get a win there. And now you have to beat Allegiance.
Yes.
We'll see if they can do that. Triggers Pound really just looking for one more win. If they can take out Dream Team or Allegiance here, pretty good position to get out of the group.
Yeah, I cannot foresee Triggers Pound not getting out of the group if they beat Dream Team.
Right.
There would have to be some freak
Three-way
scenario
tie.
where there's a 2-1 tie, within Allegiance, OpTic, and like Dream Team, or Allegiance, OpTic, Triggers Pound, something weird like that. But I think that'd be very, very rare to see.
Lots more Halo still to come, but right now we have Golden Boy down on the floor with our good buddy Assault.
All right, guys, thank you so much. What a game we just saw between OpTic Gaming and Triggers Pound. Joining me, of course, none other than Assault. Assault, I asked you right when you came down, I said, wow, what a match. You said it was bittersweet. Why was that?
Yeah, I mean, playing against my former teammates, it's hard. I mean, you know, I want to see them succeed as well as myself, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the pool. I still believe that they're going to advance out. You know, they're going to play against Dream Team and Allegiance. When I was on OpTic, we played Allegiance a lot online. We would take games from them, so I'm confident they can advance.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, with the Allegiance series, I'm not sure the progress on that. I believe DT took Plaza strongholds off of Allegiance, and that series was 2-1 last I checked in the middle of your matchup. So anything can happen, right? I mean, it's pool play. Anything can happen. But I did want to ask you about, in particular, that first matchup, right? That CTF game. That was insane. A nail-biter. Is it safe to say that Hysteria has arrived? This guy is here to bring the pain. I mean, because he is nasty. I think I was sitting in the crowd with some people that were saying Landsteria. So, think this is true?
Yeah, a lot of the time, Hysteria playing online, he's from Washington, so a lot of the servers are from Midwest, East Coast, so he, struggles online. But he's saying, once it comes to LAN, dude, don't worry, I'm not missing online. So he showed up that series, so we'll see the rest of the tournament.
Now, you have a newcomer in Denoxide. He has, honestly, he played a great series and did exactly what you guys needed him to do there. Why don't you break that down a little bit? The decision to bring on, decision to have a player like Denoxide on this team, young player, unproven at a live event, but here you are right now, 1-0 in your pool, and one could say Denoxide definitely played his role just as Hysteria did, just as you all did. But tell me about Denoxide.
Yeah, so the decision was basically someone who's good individually. There are a lot of up-and-comers, such as like Commonly, Stellar, my former teammate. Never been to a live event, but they definitely can perform. And, we just believe in that the individual skill, we can force the teamwork on him. So, he came and he's played great so far. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the games.
So you have DT and Allegiance. Those are going to be two matches that are coming up for you guys soon. I think for you, DT, you guys feel confident. Both of those matchups, you said you played against ALG and you took matches off them online. You beat them online. Do you think that is going to correlate here as well?
Well, not with the current team I have. We didn't take games from them online. But, I want to win our pool. Obviously, second place is great because we advanced to Worlds, but taking first in our pool will give us a better chance to win this tournament, or at least place in the top where we think we need to be.
Now, you've been also on the stream grind as of late. I've been really enjoying watching your streams. Where can people find you on stream and just in general?
All right, so yeah, you can follow my stream. It's twitch.tv/assault. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/assaultog. And follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/assaultt2p.
Ooh, look at you taking the T2P. All right, man. Well, best of luck in the rest of your matches. Looking forward to seeing what you guys could do. But for now, we're going to toss it over to Ben and the analysts. Take it away.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Triggers Pound coming out looking very, very good. Convincing, I think it's fair to say. Let's break down the series, though. Starting with Game 1, Strong Side. What did we see?
Well, I mean, that was a close match. It looked like OpTic could have done it. I mean, Maniac was making some incredibly clutch plays.
Yep.
He was getting in the enemy's base, and
Yep.
he was making those right moves. But it seemed like every time that Triggers Pound got a hold of a flag and started moving it, OpTic had a really hard time stopping those flag runs. They didn't get into the right spots to get shots on the flag guy. It was kind of like they would scramble, just run out. One guy would try and go for the flag guy, and he would get picked off, and the next guy would go, and there would be a guy trying to flank around. Nobody was really on the same page on trying to stop the flag runner. So I think that's really kind of the biggest downfall for them on that game type.
Yeah. It was weird. They definitely had those problems without a doubt, and we saw it go back and forth. Right, the first cap went to Triggers Pound, and then the next one went to OpTic, and then back and forth. And really, what it came down to, which I was a little bit surprised, was OpTic had around 3 guys down. It wasn't all at the same time, but in the general idea. And they all spawned underneath their base, man. And when you spawn underneath your base, you're in a very hard situation, especially when the other team's about to run the flag. I mean, do you pour it up, right? Do you try and lift up? Do you clamber up? Do you push out pink side? You push out front of the base? And so it just felt like, to me, an unfortunate spawn. Almost to the point where I think that, hey, if the game had gone on for another cap or so, maybe OpTic could have turned it around again. Maybe it would have gotten brought back. But unfortunately for them, didn't. Closed that game out, and went to Triggers Pound, so they moved on to game 2.
And then looking at game 2 as well, we have a replay from that
Yep.
that we'll throw up as well. Talk to me a little bit how that game started, Ghost.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was neck and neck for a while, and we then saw, we saw OpTic Gaming kind of take a 3-kill, 4-kill lead. It was really solid. But then we saw this massive play. Now, right now you have Flamesword on screen. We're going to switch to Assault here in a little bit. And Assault, they're at a 7-kill deficit. He has the Fuel Rod, and Overshield's about to come up. He sees he got top car, but then decides, you know what, we got to worry about Overshield. Comes down bottom middle, tries to help out, but gets absolutely collapsed on. He gets killed. Look at that kill feed. 3 guys down. 4th guy, Denoxide. He gets cleaned up. Now their Overshield is in, obviously, OpTic's hands, and that's 4 dead for Triggers Pound and 10-kill lead for OpTic. And that really cemented the entire game 2 win for them.
Yep.
It was great. Great play by OpTic, just solidifying that Overshield. Huge.
I think we got to give some props to Big T there too, getting that Overshield. OpTic swarmed down on the Overshield. They were able to get OS and get the fuel ride. So
how am I not going to do that?
I mean, we got Team Slayer. We see EG really good at that game type. We've heard Allegiance is really good at that game type. I'd love to see EG and Allegiance play. Regret Team Slayer because. I mean, if they've both, I don't think they've lost it yet. So in practice or in tournaments. So it'd be interesting to see those two play that match.
Oh, yeah. And then the other one thing I wanted to point out on Regret was something I hadn't seen out of really any top players on Slayer was when they get trapped, right? Normally everyone just freaks out. They're worrying about where they're going to push out if they die one by one, stagnant, right? And staggering respawns. Instead, Lifestyle, first guy to spawn. Remember, we saw him push pink 1. Yeah. We saw him flank. He gets the blue DMR. The rest of his team spawns red. And then he has that one little angle on top mid with the DMR, gets that kill. And that was what broke them out. I thought that, honestly, that was going to be the turning point for Triggers Pound. And it looked like they were about to set up for the full spawn kill. But that one smart play that Gary made really turned the tide for him and gave him the win.
And then Strong's talking a little bit more now about map number 3. Of course, at this point, series tied 1-1. We're thinking, okay, maybe this could be a close series.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it started out in the favor of Triggers Pound. They actually got quite a demanding lead there at the start. It wasn't looking good.
Goose.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good.
I was concerned. Yeah.
And then OpTic slowly turned it around. I think, about the 60-point mark that they turned it around, got the trip cap, and they got control of the railgun. But actually, real quick, at the beginning of the game, Hysteria just was going off with the railgun. He didn't die for a good 2 to 3 minutes.
And then he got the camo at 952.
Right?
Yeah, he grabbed the camo, remember?
Yeah.
That's how long he stayed alive, to grab the next camo up. I mean, the guy was absolutely dominating. And then the weird thing was OpTic's control, remember? We saw them holding yard and bottom mid.
And it was
working. Kind of working. And we were just like, what the heck is going on?
It was like desperate plays on bottom mid, but it was they were getting points.
And Chaser was going driveway, trying to make plays. He was staying alive behind the Prius and everything. It was a wild game, but eventually, yes, trip cap by OpTic, then trip cap return by Triggers Pound, and that's what gave them that ultimate win.
Yeah, OpTic was outslayed by 20 kills on that game type. So that's hard to win a Strongholds game type when
kills
you're
definitely help. That's
dead
for sure.
quite a bit. So that was definitely a big factor. But game 4, CTF Cali. It was definitely back and forth at first.
One of OpTic's stronger maps as well. We should mention. Last chance qualifier, they played it. I think it was like 3 times overall. They won it every single time they played it.
Clutched it too a few times.
Clutched it too. I was having deja vu. I was like, is it gonna happen again? Are they gonna do it again? But sadly, it didn't happen for the green wall. Ghost, talk me through a little bit about what happened in that game.
I mean, it just looked like it was going back and forth, right? We saw a lot of snipe pushes, a lot of nades going behind the sneakies. People were battling up the lifts on the bridges, and it was crazy. The rockets even, the rocket control was going back and forth. One team would grab it, they'd die, another team picks it up. I thought a really big play, though. I have to call it out, man. That Maniac
snipes, double.
I mean, when he got the double kill on the flag, I mean, we were like,
he wanted that triple.
2 of his teammates just died.
I was like, challenge it.
And he got the double, and it was great. And then we wanted to go for the overkill, but he played like he should in a tournament. He backed up, and rather than not only giving them the sniper potentially and then losing his positioning and then letting everyone push out, stayed there on their snipe side, kind of like, herded them into their flag, and then gets another sick double on Cave. I mean, the guy just absolutely went off and showed up, and then they got that flag cap, but in the end, it did not work out.
It didn't. Now, again, talking about this group, you heard Puckett mention about, it isn't over for OpTic Gaming.
Oh, no, not at all.
We could potentially, see
It was a big match,
They
though,
could
for
win the next
sure.
2 games. Of course, Allegiance were playing Dream Team on the side station whilst this game was going on. Allegiance won 3-1 as well.
Okay.
So when you look at maps now, maybe,
Yeah.
are we going to see it? Are we
Winning
gonna see
that one
3-1?
game against Allegiance is
Bro,
huge.
I'm telling
Especially
you right
with
now,
Dream Team.
it's massive. It really is. So you have to look at the next couple of games coming up in this group, which I think now is pretty exciting to kind of look at who's going to come through. We all have different opinions. I think we went Dream Team.
Yeah, we both said
There's
Dream
a-
Team
you
and
went- you went
Allegiance were going to
OpTic.
make it out of pool play.
I think there's a trigger
I said
town somewhere there as well.
Allegiance and OpTic were my picks.
Maybe.
Hey, there's a
Possibly.
chance.
There
right?
is a
Possibly.
chance. There is a chance.
Tell me
but
there's a chance.
this group definitely got extremely interesting. We'll be following it all weekend long. For now, though, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, more action live from the MLG Arena.